Mangwana ni Mwalelepo Vukenja ni Klas Vanave Africa. Welcome to Africa Good Morning, the news and current affairs show bringing you everything you need to know happening on the African continent and beyond. We would like to wish a happy Independence Day to Zambia, celebrating their 59th independence. You're of course joined by Diana Master and Ashwin Berry. How are you?
I'm well, how are you?
I am fantastic.
It's a beautiful Tuesday.
Tilibuino, as the Zambians
Yeah,
say.
of course.
Yes.
Tilibuino,
yes. You know what it is.
Now let's get into what you can expect in today's broadcast. More than 540 miners being held hostage underground in Springs. Rapid dollarisation to stymie Zimbabwe's plan to drop greenback. And Nigerian doctors blame continued exodus on state negligence. We'll also be crossing over to Zambia to speak to Mike Sichila a little later on in the show. But for now, we'll take a quick ad break and return with our top stories.
Welcome to What's Cooking, where culinary passion meets expert insights.
Somebody must really want to cook and want to cook good food.
Immerse yourself in the bustling world of professional kitchens as top chefs create mouthwatering dishes. Join us for in-depth interviews as our host explores the experiences and expertise of our guest chefs. Don't miss out. Tune in to What's Cooking on NTV every Friday at 2100 hours and let the culinary adventure begin.
Getting into our top stories on Africa Good Morning, around 543 miners were yesterday held hostage in Springs, Eastern Gauteng, allegedly by representatives of the Trade Union Association of Mine Workers and Construction Union. Gold One spokesperson John Hericourt confirmed the incident to the Citizen. Attempts to get comment from AMCU were unsuccessful at the time of filing the report. AMCU representatives reportedly blocked access to the Gold One East Modderfontein mine and prevented night shift workers from leaving. There have reportedly been injuries underground, but medics have been prevented from accessing the scene. It is understood those on the scene are waiting on AMCU negotiators to begin discussions to bring the miners above ground.
The US dollar will remain the dominant currency in Zimbabwe even after the government's December 2025 deadline to stop use in the economy, the country's largest independent asset manager said. Imara Asset Management, which oversees more than $100 million, said the dollarization of the economy is actually accelerating since authorities curbed the local currency's availability in July to preserve its value. Data from the National Statistics Agency showed 80% of all economic transactions in Zimbabwe are now done in the greenback, up from 75% earlier this year. We are making the bold assumption that the US dollar will remain in place for a good while yet, wrote John Legat, and Shelton Sibanda, the company's chief executive officer and chief investment officer, wrote in a quarterly note to clients on Thursday.
Now, the struggles of Nigeria's healthcare system are well documented and have affected the quality and number of doctors available locally for decades. According to the World Health Organization, at least 2,000 Nigerian doctors immigrate yearly to hotspots like the United States, the United Kingdom, and Canada. Since 2019, Nigerian newspapers have been reporting about recruitment exercises conducted by Saudi officials in Lagos and Abuja. The average salary for a Nigerian doctor in the employ of the federal government is 240,000 naira, which is $312.92 monthly, a fraction of the 2,967.20 average remuneration for their peers in the UK. Those employed by the state governments earn even less, and that has been a key factor in their migration.
Tanzania has signed a 30-year port management agreement with the United Arab Emirates despite opposition to the deal. Under the agreement, Dubai Port World will run 4 berths or quays at Dar es Salaam, Tanzania's largest port. The Emirati firm and the Tanzania Ports Authority will also collaborate in managing 3 other berths at the port. The partnership includes an investment of $250 million by DP World to upgrade infrastructure at the port over the next 5 years. The deal has drawn criticism from several activists, citizens and opposition politicians who say that it favors the Emirati company at Tanzania's expense. The government has detained more than 22 people opposed to the deal, although some have been freed, according to the rights group Amnesty International. Tanzanian authorities say the deal does not involve all port operations in the country and that they retain the right to withdraw from the contracts at any time if necessary. The East African country hopes to boost national revenue and enhance efficiency under the new deal.
Now, thousands of people have signed an online petition demanding the resumption of maritime service between Dakar and Ziguinchor, the main city in Casamance, southern Senegal. The service has been suspended for over 4 months due to political tensions related to opposition figure Ousmane Sonko. The petition, initiated by Xavier Diatta, the head of the agro-food company based in Ziguinchor, states, "We as boat passengers demand the immediate resumption of Dakar-Ziguinchor maritime connection." The petition, launched on October 13, had garnered over 3,796 signatures as of Monday. Now, passenger and freight transport, which was provided by 3 vessels, has been halted by Senegalese authorities without an official explanation since June. The suspension followed violent unrest in Ziguinchor and other cities in the country following the conviction of the political opposition leader Sonko in a moral-related case. Those have been our top stories on Africa. Good morning. After the break, we talk to Mike Sichula as we continue celebrating Zambia's 59th independence.
Welcome to My.NA Cars, your ultimate destination for everything automotive.
I am your host, Diana Master.
Teamwork makes the dream work, right?
Discover the latest models, innovative technologies, and expert insights from our passionate hosts. Learn essential maintenance tips and get exclusive behind-the-scenes access to the automotive industry. Don't miss My.NA Cars on NTV every Thursday at 2100 hours. Tune in and ignite your passion for automobiles.
All right, so we are celebrating Zambia's 59th Independence Day, and I'm not just continually reiterating that because I shall be marrying a Zambian lady myself. But of course, if my father-in-law's family is watching right now, let's keep this in mind as Lobola negotiations commence soon. But here's Mike Sichula telling us more about the Real Africa celebrating their 59th independence, as well as the rest of the news stories. Mike, Udubwanji.
Great to hear that thing that is yet to happen. Yes, indeed, like you've put it, Zambia is celebrating 59 years of independence from colonial rule. Zambia got independence from the British in 1964. So as part of the celebrations, President Hakainde Hichilema yesterday pardoned 815 prisoners. Then out of that number, 45 of those prisoners who have had children in prison. However, the celebrations have also seen Zambia mourning some of its senior public figures. Just this week, Zambia lost one of its speakers, Amusa Mwanamwamba, there in the pictures. He was a speaker from 1998 to 2011. So it was one of the big losses. Then also Zambia has lost one of its former finance minister, Ngandu Magande. So, however, these have not overshadowed the celebrations. A number of activities have been have been arranged across the country. Then also this celebration is being held under the theme accelerating national development through equitable distribution of resources. So one of the things that this film is telling Zambians is that national resources should be distributed equitably, and the government has also launched a system, a system called the Distribution of Constituency Development Fund, which is the decentralization of funds to all districts of the country, so that districts can also make their own informed decision. So this is one of the things that the President Hichilema spoke about yesterday when he addressed the nation on the eve of the 59th independence celebrations.
Tanzanian President Samia Suluhu Hassan is that site for an official state visit. Is there any official business on the agenda that they want to discuss?
Yes, one of them is that she should grace this year's independence celebration. She is here for 3 days state visit. She arrived in the country yesterday, and she was welcomed at the Kenneth Kaunda International Airport by President Chilema, as you can see from that picture there. And during the state visit, the two leaders are expected to engage in discussion covering a range of topics, including bilateral, regional, and global affairs. And yesterday night, the president of Zambia hosted a state banquet in honor of President Hassan. They also spoke about how the two nations have had long bilateral relationships with each other from the times of the late Presidents Kaunda and Julius Nyerere. So President Hichilema said the young leadership of now are supposed to make sure that long-standing relationship is built even greater, so that the two peoples can benefit from this bilateral relationship of these two nations. Then also the Tanzanian president is expected tomorrow to address the National Assembly of Zambia, where she is expected to highlight some of the things Tanzania is doing, and also some of the things that she has noticed that Zambia has done in the last 2 years. Just during the state banquet, she did tell President Hichilema that she is impressed in how he has managed to hold the national economy of Zambia in the last 2 years.
All right. And I think it's apt. And, since we're talking history, most of the Bantu people, and there's a lot of Bantu people in Zambia, Zimbabwe, Namibia, South Africa, a lot of them migrated from Tanzania. And the original name for Tanzania is Tanganyika, which means the beginning of nations, which is why it is truly poetic to have the president of Tanzania celebrating with Zambians. But let's move over. An army general has been arrested. I don't know if it's a general, I need to clarify that for me, but they've been arrested for swindling job seekers on the pretext that he would secure them jobs in the military.
Yeah, quite a fascinating and a disappointing story in terms of because army officials, police officials are supposed to uphold the law of the land. But this is not the case for 35-year-old Zambia army soldier, Alan Chiwe, who has been arrested for swindling people close to 76,000 kwacha, which is almost $3,600, on the pretext that you'd offer jobs to people that were seeking jobs in the military. So what he did is Mr. Chiwe, who is currently in police custody, he said to have committed the offense between August 2022 and August 2022 and August 2023. So he was involved in this, telling people that he had connections within the military for them to get jobs, such as these jobs about going for military training. Usually when the Zambia Army advertises for recruitment, the turnout is usually very huge, such that you would find that for 100 people that the army is looking, over 500 people would apply. So you could imagine the demand for people trying to get into the military. And it is through such loopholes and desperation that people like Alan Chiwe sneaked in their ideas to say, I've got people within the system that can help you. So one of the victims, whose name has been concealed for fear of being victimized, says he was forced to pay 4,500 kwacha, and he did acknowledge by himself that he was desperate to secure a job in the army.
It is truly sad that people are taking advantage of other people's circumstances. Now, Mr. Sichela, in the last of your stories, the government has acquired a loan worth $15 billion to construct a copper smelter in northwestern Zambia. Please do tell us more.
Diana and Aswin, Zambia has been mining copper for over 100 years. And what could surprise you is that Zambia does not have its own copper smelter that it can boast of. So this one, there was talks at some point that Konkola Copper Mines was supposed to build a smelter, but something, somewhere it went under, and it has not been actualized. So this one, the Zambian government has acquired a loan of over 15 billion United States dollars that this copper smelter should be built in the northwestern part of Zambia, which is also another new copper belt, because this is where there's a green field of copper minerals underneath. And about 20,000 hectares of land has been acquired from traditional leaders, and also this facility is going to be built by the Zambia National Service with the help of some Chinese experts who are specialized in building smelters. So the idea is that Zambia should be in a position to export finished copper products to the outside world, unlike the current situation where most of the copper that Zambia exports is in raw form. And according to authorities, they think they are not getting enough revenue if the copper that is going out is in raw form. So they are trying to see that this smelter should be up and running as quickly as possible in order to realize the much needed revenue from copper mining.
All right. Thank you very much, Mike, for bringing us the news stories from the real Africa.
Thank you very much. God bless you and have a blessed day.
We're certainly wishing Zambia a great Independence Day. We'll now be taking a look at the weather predictions before we return with our economic news.
Welcome to My.NA Cars, your ultimate destination for everything automotive.
I am your host, Diana Master.
Teamwork makes the dream work, right?
Discover the latest models, innovative technologies, and expert insights from our passionate hosts. Learn essential maintenance tips and get exclusive behind-the-scenes access to the automotive industry. Don't miss My.NA Cars on NTV every Thursday at 2100 hours. Tune in and ignite your passion for automobiles.
Quickly diving into our economic news stories, the sub-Saharan African economy is expected to grow 3.7% on average next year, despite a worrisome global economic backdrop as falling inflation allows for looser monetary policy, a Reuters poll showed on Friday.
Italy will approve on Monday a decree paving the way for extending hydroelectric and geothermal power concessions, a draft show, while also cutting red tape for onshore liquefied natural gas terminals and boosting renewable energy.
We're going to go to the economic indicators just before Ari Hochad shows up with the sport.
Good day everyone, time for international sports news, and starting off with Rugby World Cup 2023 in Paris. Semi-finals done, and it's the finals week coming up. Lots of rugby been played the past month or so, and it is going to be South Africa that play against the All Blacks. That's in the final after both of them won over the weekend in their semi-finals. News from both teams are that there's no injury concerns on either side. It seems like both of them can select from a full squad of fit players. Also leading up to Saturday's final, it seems like the weather might be good, and the long-term weather prediction at the moment seems like there will be some rain during the day, but come evening when the game is played, it will be good weather for rugby with no rain predicted at the moment for the final. And then also related to refereeing, it is indicated, or it is speculation, that it might be Wayne Barnes of England that will be the referee for the final. It must still be confirmed by World Rugby, but that is the speculation at the moment. Another option would be Michael Real from France. But Wayne Barnes is 44 years old. He's the most experienced referee in the tournament. He's had a good tournament as well. So there's a good chance that he might be the referee for the final between the Springboks and New Zealand. Moving on to cricket news, it's a World Cup cricket that continues, and a good win for India against New Zealand over the weekend. They're the only unbeaten team in the tournament at the moment. New Zealand and India, they're leading on the points table with 10 points and 8 points respectively after 5 games. South Africa, they're in third position with 6 points after 4 games. Australia, number 4 position at the moment. The top 4 important. The top 4 go through to the semi-finals, but lots of cricket still to be played. Australia has got an important game coming up this Saturday. They play against New Zealand, and it is South Africa that play on Tuesday. They play against Bangladesh. Then they play on Friday against Pakistan, and next week, Wednesday, South Africa play against New Zealand. Also a big game over the weekend. It is India that play against England, and England that lost 3 of their 4 games. They need to win against India to be able to go and qualify for the top 4 in this tournament for the semi-finals. Continuing international sports news with tennis news, it was the Japan Open that was played on the ATP Men's Tour, and the winner there is Ben Shelton of the USA. That's his first ATP Tour title in his career. He beat Aslan Karatsev of Russia in the final by 7-5 and 6-1. The 21-year-old Shelton will now move up to number 15 in the world rankings. The number 1 and 2 seeds in the tournament fell out early. It was number 1 seed Taylor Fritz and also Casper Ruud of Norway that didn't get past the quarter-finals. And closing off today's international sports news with golf news, and it's on the ladies PGA first. It is the BMW Ladies Championship that was played in South Korea. The winner there is Min-Ye Lee. She's from Australia, and she won in a playoff against Alison Lee, and she is from the United States. In second place was Lydia Ko of New Zealand. A little bit further down, in tied for 16th, was the world number 1, Nelly Korda, on 9 under par, and then Ashley Buhai of South Africa, the highest placed African player, on tied 13 on 10 under par. On the men's PGA, there was a co-sanctioned tournament played in Japan. The US PGA played there, and it was won by an American. It's Colin Morikawa. He won on a total of 14 under par, and that was 6 shots ahead of his countryman Bo Hosler on -8. That's international sports news for today. Hope you have a great sport day, and we talk international sport again tomorrow. Goodbye.
For those of you that are just joining us, let's take a look at the highlights from today's broadcast. More than 540 miners being held hostage underground in Springs. Rapid dollarisation to stymie Zimbabwe's plan to drop greenback. Sub-Saharan African economy expected to grow 3.7% next year.
All right, those have been our stories. Once again, we wish Zambia a happy Independence Day. Just for today, Victoria Falls is yours. No issue from the Zimbabwe. We promise you for the next 24 hours, we will be quiet and we will resume the debate tomorrow. From Diana Master and Ashwin Bedi, Surajakanaka.